and welcome to another episode of the Uni-Fy podcast, where we demystify Web3. Every week we interview business leaders, founders, and individuals in or looking to enter the Web3 ecosystem. Our guests share their experiences, advice, and their mistakes so you can learn from the best. And today I am very excited to introduce you to Gary, the founder of Future Moments. And we're going to dive into the app today and discuss all manner of things for content creators, the incredible utilities that he's created that allow us to sound better, look better, and function better as creatives creating video and audio content. Thanks very much for joining me, Gary.
Thanks for having me.
And so we've had a slight rundown on your day, and it sounds like you've had a busy one, and you often do have a busy one. And, you know, I really appreciate you making time for this. And so, you know, I've got a series of questions that I wanted to ask you, but before I get into that, I just wanted to understand like your background, a little bit of history about you, and if perhaps you know anything about cryptocurrency or Web3.
Yeah, a little bit. Probably I would say a little bit more than the average person, but it's not incredibly my field. But I do have friends that are involved in it. I'm more of an audio person. I come from an audio and video space.
Beautiful. And so give us a little bit of background on that, you know, so your audio and video, how did that start and lead you to creating this massively successful app, or apps, I should say?
Yeah, so we have Future Moments has a suite of apps, a bunch of apps for content creation. So if you're a musician, a podcaster, a video creator of any kind, we have an app that will make your life easier and your productions of much higher quality. I got started because I was a musician, and I became an audio engineer, recorded my own music and other people's music. So I got really into audio, and then I started to get into audio for video, and I started mixing and recording audio for video, which is kind of a different animal than recording audio for music. Recording audio for music is actually quite a bit harder. Like miking up a drum set and getting a good sound on a drum set is harder, I felt, than mixing a movie or a television show. A bit of a different skill set, but that got me really into audio creation and audio fidelity and getting a good sound and knowing your levels and gain staging and compression and all the audio stuff. So then I had an idea. This is 2014. I had an idea for our first app, which is called MicSwap. MicSwap was at the time the first mic modeler and recorder on the iPhone. Wow. I don't have my screen share, but I can kind of show you in low fidelity. So you have different microphones, and it's a recorder, and you just swipe through all the many microphones and you get different sounds for each one.
That's amazing. So you get the quality of the mic represented on the screen.
Exactly. And then you could plug a microphone into your iPhone or iPad and use these microphone models to get this sound.
That's fantastic. I didn't have to go out and buy this Blue Yeti, is what you're telling me, right?
Yeah, this is the Neumann U87 right there. It's a little bit better than a Blue
Yeti. Yeah, wow. That's incredible. So, you know, before we go any further, I'd really like to just dig into the fact, like so you said you sort of transitioned from being a musician, mixing down your own music, and then that became a profession for you. And that sort of went from recording music into mixing down movies and other aspects of, I guess, live drama or whatever. And then you were the first one to bring that to the App Store. So I just really like that you've brought something that hadn't been done before, you know, which is what we're seeing a lot in Web3 of just one, you know, the first time things are being done. So just talk me through that headspace you were in and how that all developed for you.
Well, it kind of developed as a joke. I was just in band practice one day, and I don't know if you remember, but before voice memos, the memo recorder on the iPhone had a picture of a microphone. And
Yes.
I said, oh, it'd be so cool if we could swipe through different microphones and get different sounds, because I'd always record rehearsal with my phone, and then you're stuck with that one sound. So with MicSwap, you can actually record and then swipe through all the different microphones we have and hear it through what it would sound like through that microphone, as if it were recorded from that microphone. So it started really as a joke, and then a friend of mine said, hey, you should do that. So I worked very hard to find a good developer that also had to be a musician or someone that understood audio, and I found the perfect partner that's in the Netherlands, and we've been working together ever since. I'm in New York, I should say.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I love that, you know, that it's that classic Bing moment that people have. And I often say this, like, lots of people have these ideas, right? And like, of the 100% of people that have these good ideas, like 1% act on them, and then like 0.5% bring them to fruition, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. The work is the harder part.
Yes. Yeah, completely.
The idea is the fun part, but then, like, you know, bringing it to the actual 3D world is a
different ball game altogether, right?
Yes.
And so just talk to me about how you found your partner. Like you said, you found a perfect partner who's in the Netherlands. So I feel like maybe that was online, but was it not? Maybe it was real life, or, you know, a gig or something.
Yeah, we met online. Basically, I just every day went to a coffee shop, and I went through the app store. Every developer that had a audio app or recording app or anything, even a voice changing app. If you had an app that changed a voice, like there's a lot of those silly apps on the store. If you had anything that was similar to MicSwap, my idea, I emailed you, and I probably emailed at least 250 different developers. I would search through the apps. I would go to the developer page on the App Store, find their email address, email them, and man, my rate of response was incredibly low.
I can only imagine, like, especially then as well. Like, I mean, how long are we talking here, actually?
This is 2014, near the end of 2014. And, you know, I'm not giving away my idea in the email. So, you know, as a developer, you're probably just getting some email from a guy. Hey, I've got a great idea. Probably hear that every day once you tell someone you're a developer.
Yeah, exactly. And
I've got a great idea for an app.
Yeah, exactly. And also it's like, although it was, you know, massively used, email, you know, that sort of digital contact point wasn't the most forefront, or I would imagine, for like cold calling, if you will.
Yeah, right. And we had, you know, if we were going to work together intimately, we had to at least, I think at the time, we video Skyped as a meeting.
Yep, nice.
So, you know, before Zoom, Skype was doing this before Zoom.
It's funny you say that, because it's literally just, oh yeah, Skype. Because I, like, my mum was Australian, and so, but she lives in the UK, so she would always be Skyping. And literally, I can't remember the last time I heard Skype. Definitely pre-COVID, you know, like, it's incredible how quickly things move, change, and adapt.
It's amazing how Zoom kind of grabbed that word to Google, to Zoom, you know, it's like they branded an activity that already existed before them.
Yeah, this is so true. Yeah.
Same with Google too, actually. People were searching online for things before Googling it.
Yes, yeah, this is so true. Now the phrase of searching has changed to Googling, really, hasn't it?
Quality marketing.
The phrase. Yeah, exactly. At its finest.
Right. Don't record it on your iPhone. MicSwap it.
Yeah, there you go. MicSwap it. And so early stages. Let's talk about that, like, initial development process. So, you know, you said you needed to be sort of intimately involved with the person that you were going to be working with. And so how did that initial relationship like start, and that technology that you were using to develop this, like, how did that all, like, what was the experience like in those early stages?
It was tricky because the phones have gotten so much stronger. So like the hardware and software of the phone now compared to 2015, you know, it's exponential improvements on these things. So what we could do now is, I mean, we've since, like, MicSwap is actually probably one of our more simple apps now. We have a slew of apps if you go to the developer page on the App Store, for Future Moments, you'll see we have a bunch, and we have apps that are available now that couldn't be done in 2015. The phone wouldn't be able to handle it. Like now we have MicSwap MultiTrack right now.
Yeah, so I'm just pulling up your website actually. Is there a page that is, I'm screen sharing. Can you see that all right?
Yep.
Nice. So do you want to maybe like start at like your journey, if this is a history line, if you will, like a timeline?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to just talk me through and relate that to sort of maybe the software developments that happened with the phones?
Yeah,
it works like that.
Perfect. So we've already talked about MicSwap.
Yeah.
And I think our next app was AudioFix for videos. Yeah. So AudioFix for videos, I saw another problem. A lot of times I'd watch a video on YouTube and I couldn't get the volume loud enough. I find myself turning up the volume and kind of cupping the phone like this to kind of make a speaker.
Yeah.
And I said, man, it would be really nice if you can just import a video, have the volume set to maximum before distortion, maybe cleaned up some noise since the volume is also going to get boosted. And then I was already doing that with movies and television. You know, you record all the actors with a lapel mic and a boom mic.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times there's a lot of ambient noise and you have to clean all that up. So basically AudioFix for videos was born, and that's probably our most successful app as far as the widest use app, because anyone that shoots a video that wants their audio to be better can just download AudioFix. It's so simple. You import a video, boom, boom, it automatically cleans its sound, boosts its volume. You tap a button to export it. You have your choice of formats. And that's it. It's a pretty quick process to get your videos sounding top notch.
That's incredible. And so, because I just started using, I want to say it's Adobe. This is obviously prior to discovering you, but prior to that, I was using Adobe. They do like a free audio booster, or you probably know the correct terminology, but essentially like an AudioFix by the sounds of it, but it only does an hour at a time.
Yeah.
Does that sound right? So yours is an unlimited version of that, and probably predates that as far as I'm aware.
It does, and it's also not only an audio booster, but it removes noise. See, once you boost your audio, you're also boosting all the unwanted ambient noise. So a lot of times you could boost it and then you'd be like, it's more noisy now than it was.
Yes. Yeah. Right. I'm with you. And so talk to me about this is a really interesting relationship, a creative and dev relationship, right? So you have these ideas. I imagine you have no idea how they are implemented technologically, or initially in the first instance you didn't. And so how did you find relating that to a developer who I imagine had very technical and slightly less creative terminology and a mindset? How did you find that portraying those thoughts and ideas?
That is a good question, and that's exactly why I needed to work with someone that was a musician or someone that was familiar with audio, or else it's like talking another language.
Yeah.
Which actually I did try. Before I found my partner, I was working with someone that didn't understand audio, and it was not, I could tell it was not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
So I abandoned that person and then found my partner. Because the audio terms like compression, EQ, there's so much terminology that you just kind of need to know, and if you have to understand audio to know it. Like compression is just kind of, even in audio world, is abstract. Compression can make your sound more punchy, and it could also make your sound more tame, depending on how you have the attack, release setting. There's all these different settings. So a compressor does quite a bit for audio.
Amazing. Yeah. So I fully appreciate that. You definitely, you need someone who already understands that, because otherwise now you're speaking almost three languages, right? Like you've got your Norwegian English, and then you've got your music technological speak, and then you've got your coding developer speak, right? And you need to sort of get all of those into the same room and to understand each other. Yeah,
exactly.
Awesome. And so next, where did you go next then? What was the next hit?
Then I think the next one was AudioMaster, which is the one how you found me.
Yes.
AudioMaster is really great nowadays since the podcasting boom. I think when AudioMaster came out, there wasn't much podcasting done. It was not nearly as popular. I could be wrong about that, but it's definitely gotten a lot more popular. But we have a podcast preset in AudioMaster. I can quickly show you. So AudioMaster, it starts with an equalizer. You basically just import your audio, and then you have an equalizer.
Just big. How do I make
Oh, sorry, you have the other. Yeah.
Oh, I know what I can do. One sec. I'll just turn that off for a sec. There we go. Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, this, and then if you don't want to mess with the equalizer, you can just go to the podcast preset. You import your podcast, you choose the podcast preset, and then you export it, and it will make your podcast sound like way better. It basically sets the volume to maximum before distortion, cleans it up, and out it goes. And then if you're a musician, we have a bunch of different musical genres.
This is fantastic, man. So week before last, I had a project on that I did invite to join for a conversation called Boombox, which is someone I would quite like to open a conversation with, all three of us. But they specialize in music NFTs. Right. So they allow musicians to become their own record label, right? They mint music on chain. And that becomes, inevitably yours and is trackable and traceable, and your royalties are built in. And so every transaction, no matter if the value goes up or down, you always receive your royalties on every transaction. Now, what I think would be really cool is for these guys to be aware of having this, because not all musicians can afford studios. Not all musicians, have the best stuff. Like, we all started somewhere, like I had literally the worst podcasting setup you could possibly imagine if you go back to my first one. And so I just think there's a fantastic place there of synergy where you've got all of these emerging artists in a really exciting new ecosystem. And then you've got like a very well-established, highly experienced individual and provider like yourselves that I think could merge really nicely. And so, that's obviously for a later date. They couldn't make it today, but if you would be open to it, I'd love to get you guys on like a group podcast, and then maybe we can sort of share and brainstorm how that could look.
Yeah, I mean, I could already see how we can be mutually beneficial to each other. Absolutely.
Fantastic.
If you're going to make a music NFT, you want it sounding good. So
yeah, exactly. And most of them I have heard are good, but I bet there's people out there who are not doing things because I haven't got this, like those, they're not excuses, but they're barriers you put in yourself if you have a standard. And sometimes those barriers can prevent you from progressing or succeeding in life or business. And so I think, your product could really help them. So that's exciting, man. I'll definitely open that conversation.
Yeah, and that's really like the best reward for me is when I get an email saying, "Oh, thank you so much for these apps. It's made it so much easier for me to share my creation, my art, whatever they want, whatever they call it." It's just great to feel so useful.
Yeah, exactly. And like another application for your application is like one of the things I did prior to doing the video and still do now is I download the audio either from a Twitter space, which I'm referring more to Twitter space people now. And then I master that audio and then mint it as an NFT. And, being able to run it through software like what you've provided would take you from like, Elon Musk levels to, professional studio levels, and actually be able to then present that on podcast platforms, right?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what AudioMaster does. It it automatically masters your audio. So you import it, it automatically sets it to maximum. You could tweak it if you want to, or you could just use one of the presets, but it makes the whole mastering process happen in less than 30 seconds.
That's really incredible. And because like rappers, for instance, you know, they're very like up and down and pitchy and, you know, can have lots of volume spikes.
Yeah.
So this could be ideal for them, right? They could just drop their raw audio in. Again, if you haven't got access to someone who knows how to master, right? Or, you know, you don't trust your own skill set.
It's a good observation about rappers. We have a hip hop setting, and that's definitely something we compensated for, is the spike in audio, especially if your vocals are very raw because it's just you and the microphone. And if you're singing with samples, then the samples have already been processed. So the voice can off. That's why if you see a live rap group, often it could sound a little karaoke-ish.
Yes.
And that's exactly why, because you have the raw voice with trying to mix with all the samples that have already been compressed, EQ'd, compressed again.
Oh, that's interesting. Now I know that. I will listen to hip hop live differently because I'm not a huge fan. I must be honest.
Yeah,
I much prefer recorded. You know.
You know, that's some of the magic of compression. Like compression. You know, when you're walking or you're driving by, and you're like, that music is live. Your ears always know when it's a live band happening. That's because your ears perceive compression. All the music we hear that comes out of speakers has been processed, compressed, EQ'd, compressed again to come out of speakers. It's been usually mastered or compressed in some way. Where a live band, your ears go, oh, live music. They perk up because there's none of that compression. The frequencies are wider. It sounds live. It sounds alive. These are all the words we use. When what's happening in a technical audio term is that they're not compressed.
That's amazing. That's like, I've learned something today, so thank you. I didn't.
All right, yeah. We could all go to sleep now.
Yeah. Good job. Shut the podcast down.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, drop the
mic. Drop the mic swap.
Yeah, drop the mic swap. Exactly. You know it. No, that's fantastic, man. And that is so true. Like when you hear, you can 100% instantly tell live, even live recorded, right? Then live. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome, man. And yeah, so let's keep doing this, man. Like there's so many relevant and you know, great subjects to cover here. So where did you go next? We were at AudioMaster, I believe. I'll bring up the share again.
Okay, yeah. It's hard to remember the timeline, but basically we're covering a lot of content creation. We have MicSwap MultiTrack, which is pretty self-explanatory. That lets you do a multi-track recording, and with each track you can use a different mic sound and add reverb or delay. MicSwap Video is a very odd app where you import a video and then you could change the audio at parts of your video, the whole video. You can kind of cut it up and assign different mics and different effects to different parts of your video.
Wow, that is super cool. So
it is a strange little app.
Yeah, man.
Like, there's nothing like it on the store. It's a very weird app, but I love it.
Yeah, so I'm thinking of like applications to that would be like maybe if you were doing a film, right? And you just filmed it all. Let's say you filmed on your iPhone, you know, you just did your audio on your iPhone. You had nothing special. That would then allow you to take the full edited footage and you could then go, okay, this guy's in a big hall. This guy's, sorry, not in a big hall. This guy's speaking on this mic in this style. And that could then vary to someone in the car or someone outside. Does that make
That's
sense?
Perfect. You totally get it. Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah. If there's part of your video where you want someone to sound like they're talking from a cave, you can do that in the app.
Nice. That's fantastic, man. That would be especially good for animation, right? If you did like an animation, obviously you've got no actual real places to go in a cave or, you know, underwater or wherever it may be. So now you can apply that to your animated voiceovers, right?
Absolutely.
Nice.
Very cool. Very cool application for it.
Yeah. I can't really comprehend how you came up with that one, man.
Yeah. Me neither.
It's like the universe just gifted you that one.
Yeah, pretty much. It's
Yeah.
strange. I was literally like, "Is anyone have a use for this?" But then it kind of like, it's like if you write a song, sometimes you write the song and you don't know what it's about until afterwards.
Yes.
Months can go by and you're like, "Oh, that's what that song's about."
And this is the same with your creation of that.
Yeah, I think so.
Nice. Oh yeah, that's what it was for. Good.
Yeah.
3 months later with 500,000 downloads. Everyone else knew what it was for, right? Before you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so these are fantastic, man. So bring me over to these 4 here: VideoVerb, here Boost, Mave.
Mave is our latest, and that uses some of the AI art generation technology. So with Mave, you import audio, and then you could generate art from that audio. And you can make the art, and you could add animation to the artwork also. So you could create NFTs from that app as well.
Oh, we love to hear the synergies, man. This is beautiful.
Yeah, we're using OpenAI's technology to generate the art. And so you could add your song lyrics in there. You could just say what the song is about. Or if you have a podcast, you just enter some keywords, generate some art. You could animate the art and then export it.
You can animate the art. That's what I was going to ask you next. Are you familiar with Kyber?
A little bit.
Yeah. So yeah, like this is 100%. We need to dive into this in more detail. I think all of it's applicable certainly to Boombox, but I feel like, to me, I was thinking to myself, so you've got Web3 technology, you've got music technology, and then you've got sort of the NFT, which is what you would refer to NFTs as is art, right? In some form or another. So now, like, combining those and being able to spit that all out in one place, I'm thinking, either they would promote your app or have some sort of app integration where they can then upload their music and actually generate their music video or art covers and everything from that. That's fantastic, man.
Totally. You could also use Mave. If you're an artist on Spotify, you can use that to create the animations that, when you listen to Spotify, and a song will have different animations. You can use Mave to create that as well.
That's fantastic. I love it, man. You've really, I feel like you're really in your stride and your niche. You've got yourself locked in and you're just spitting out really highly valuable ideas and technology that the world really needs.
Yeah, it helps that I'm a musician also. I have a band called Setting Sun. We just released a record. So, I'm kind of like, just by doing it, I see what's needed. I also had a podcast for a little over a year. So kind of helps to be in it to see what's needed.
Yeah, 100%. Do you want me to pull up Setting Sun? Is there anything I can pull up there?
Oh yeah, it's on Spotify under the artist, The Setting Sun.
Okay, I'll just pull it up. And so what aspect of the band are you, other than the brains?
Singer and the songwriter, and I play a lot of the instruments on the recordings, but not all of them.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, and then live, I have a band kind of doing their versions of the parts.
That's amazing. So so when you do live performances, you bring a band with you, and then when you're recording, you can do a little bit yourself. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Exactly right. Yeah.
Nice. I'm just going to ping you this link. I don't want to pull up the wrong thing first, so I'll put this just in our private chat quickly and just check that is right.
Yeah, it should be a picture of me. Looks like it's going to be right.
Is that you under a guitar in the road?
Yes.
Good man.
Yeah.
Death by double bass?
It's a cello, actually.
A cello. So there's my music knowledge completely revealed.
Common misconception.
Right, let me get this up. So I wonder if it'll play through here.
Ooh,
Oh,
let's test this technology.
yeah. If not, you've got another app to make.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I don't think it will. Spotify is pretty they just changed something where you can't import the songs,
Oh, I haven't
but
got.
maybe it'll let you stream it. I'm not sure.
All right, let me just close that, and I will sign up. Tell us some other things, just while I try and get this up and going. Tell me something interesting.
Well, I guess for the podcasting world, we have an app called MicSwap Camera, which is a video camera, and it has all the microphones from MicSwap. So you can record a video podcast with two. If each person has their own iPhone, one you have your camera on you and you have your mic connected. So you're recording. You're basically having a 2-camera shoot, and then each person. So if each person has too similar of a voice, you can give each guest a different microphone, and that helps with separation. So you get a high fidelity audio, you get high fidelity video, just with 2 iPhones or however many guests you have. If they each have an iPhone, you can record high quality video very easily.
I just feel like I invested all this money and I just needed your app.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, if you have a microphone that connects USB, there'll be an adapter that connects to the iPhone, and then you could use all this technology.
So what you're telling me is I could podcast on the go just with your software. Although, does it distribute it? Does it stream it anywhere, or is it recording it and storing it for later?
It's recording it and storing it. You could stream it by hooking it up to something like this. You do a screen share kind of thing, and you could probably figure out a way to wire it that way.
So I did that in OBS. Yeah, that's a good point. So in OBS, you can actually share your device in via something else, Video Ninja, and then pull it into this essentially. Yeah, so that would work. Very cool.
You're really good with all this technology. You see the application for it right away.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess that nicely brings us on to Uni-Fy, right? Which is my project that I founded within Web3, and I have a knack for seeing synergies and ways that things can complement each other that I think others miss, or we often have our blinkers on in our echo chambers, right? And we don't always look up and see what other people are doing and how we can work together. And so I think, like I saw a platform as a place where, okay, if people are coming to this platform, I can see what they do, they can all see what they do, and then I'm able to sort of connect those dots. So for instance, like the application I would have for you and your app within Uni-Fy would be, there'd be 2 places for it. So there's the brand pages, which allows you to create e-commerce stores on Web3. Right, so that's the initial thing. So you can bring your brand, it's another backlink for your existing website or whatever else you like, and you can sell things on there. You receive payments in any currency, including crypto, and this allows you to then actually open an affiliate marketing system with that. It's like built in, so your community members can then sign up and start selling your product and promoting it. They generate their own links, drive traffic to you. They get a commission that you set, and you get more sales. You have a marketing army that that just work for you, and you have nothing to do with them. They're kind of independent. Or you can really build a Discord out and get to know them however you see fit. But on the other side of it, we have what we're calling an upsell page, and on that page is where we have our only the most vetted and verified providers. And that page is there to basically say, look, you've created a brand page. Before you go live with your brand page, we recommend. And then we have, for instance, One Link Solutions. They provide legal and business registration services within Dubai, so you pay 0 tax on your profits. So we recommend for you to register your business there, especially if you're in crypto. That way you're not losing 20, 30, 40% of your business. This is applicable to anyone who's selling online, but especially in Web3, because Web3 is a bit of the Wild West. And so we've seen lots of what we call rugs, where people just run away with money. And so this is basically saying, look, I'm committed to longevity. So you do your business registration properly as you would in IRL in Web2. We have a dedicated Discord creation service. So they will literally create you a Discord and manage it. They put full security protocols in, and then you've got like 24/7 coverage if you need any help as well. And so in there would be your app or apps. And that would be, look, you know, if you're running a podcast or you're doing any live form content, or perhaps you do regular Twitter spaces, we recommend that you buy access to this app. It will allow you to then master all of your content and put out professional quality, professional grade content by just using an app and the technology that you have in your hand. This is kind of me off the top of my head now. There'd be a better pitch to it than that. But yeah, so I see that you would really fit in there, because regardless of what aspect you are in, certainly in Web3, no doubt you will end up on a Twitter space, right? And that Twitter space becomes content that can then be shared on other platforms, YouTube Shorts, Instagram, TikTok, you know, and if that is of high quality, now you have something that can be added to your marketing arsenal. And so that's where I feel like you guys would really fit in nicely, both as a brand page, giving you more exposure, and obviously an affiliate program, you know, that's completely under your control, and then actually us generating you hot leads consistently for you to just benefit from and you know, build a wider user base.
Very cool. How long have you been doing Uni-Fy?
Uni-Fy has been in the works for about 1.5 to 2 years. Nice. It has been coded and built from mine and my co-founder's imagination into reality with a dev that we have a very intimate relationship with. And we sort of spew out our ideas, and he's like, don't be stupid, that's too expensive, you can't afford that, but we can do this, which has brought us very, very close to our MVP launch.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's where I am with that, and how I would like to bring you on, and how I think we could mutually benefit each other.
Very cool. When is your launch expected?
The closed beta testing will be live in approximately 2 weeks. As a rule, we don't give timescales to technology when it's being built out, because most times it doesn't happen, as I'm sure you're aware. But yeah, a very tentative 2-week schedule. I have to say the actual handover meeting is in a few hours tonight. Nice. So it may be sooner.
Great. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I've been having severe issues. Oh, is that why?
With Spotify?
Yeah.
How do you normally listen to music? Because we're on all this stuff. Back.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
It's not looking like it's going to be timely. I don't really understand. It seems to be using a proxy service. Please turn off these services and try again. But they
probably won't let you occupy the audio channel simultaneously or something.
Sorry, now it's just messing everything up. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, all right, cool. Yeah, we're going to sack that off before it just ruins everything.
Yeah, it's okay.
So, yeah, sorry about that. You have frozen a bit on my screen, but you're real time on there. Anyway, we digress. Where are we? We are at VideoVerb, we discussed, right, which was the essentially podcasting from iPhone to iPhone and recording and storing that for later.
That was actually MicSwap camera.
Oh, MicSwap camera. Sorry, you were
Yeah.
discussing that while I was distracted. Yeah, my bad.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, VideoVerb is very simple. You import a video and you could add reverb and delay to it. Very simple app.
Yeah, yeah. And can you do that in other places, but it's more complicated to do it, or is it just dedicated here?
Exactly. We make it very simple.
Okay. All
I
right.
think that's kind of the running theme for our apps. They're all very simple to use. So we kind of really just focus. We want you to be able to focus on the creativity aspects and not get bogged down by the technical aspects. We make the technical aspects extremely simple so you can focus on the creative part of it.
You've nailed it, man. I think, you know, again, like it just shows me that you really know your audience and your market fit, right? And I think it's the same with a lot of technology, certainly geared towards creatives, right? So like creatives often are creatives and they're very good at that, but they can feel overwhelmed when it comes to using technologies like such as, I guess, real life versions of the apps you've done. And really understanding that. So making it as simple as possible really lowers that barrier of entry, right? And increases adoption.
Yeah, and it also increases the creativity because unfortunately it's like different parts of the brain battling each other when you want to be creative and then you have too many options. It's like, it could limit your creativity, and then you're battling with the computer and you're battling with all these different options and knobs and buttons. So we just trying to take all that stuff away and you focus on being creative.
I love it, man. Great.
Also something I learned from recording my own music. It's like it took many years to get to a point where the setting up the microphone, the recording, hitting record, while also trying to lay down a guitar part that was heartfelt or a vocal that was like heartfelt and while you're holding a mouse. They're like two very different things.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
And I guess that changed. Like, do you, I think in Brighton, I don't know if you've ever been here, but there's lots of, the music scene is massive and historically always has been.
Yeah, Massive Attack, Tricky, there's a sound there, right?
Yeah, exactly that. And we still clinging on to the Volks and the Concorde as best we can.
Nice.
But
I actually did an album with Nelly Hooper.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Go on, tell me more about that.
It was my friend's band, but he was the producer of the record, and he was an original member of Massive Attack.
Wow.
He's since won several Grammys, I think, but we were after that, and the record actually did not come out because the Virgin did not see a hit in it.
No,
it wasn't my music, but it was I was a band member of it, and we did record one of my songs, which was cool, but it was pretty neat to see him work in the studio.
I can imagine, man. Like that is when you say a pro, like almost beyond that, right? Like a savant in the space, right?
Yeah, it was pretty amazing to just be living in London, and all you had to do was go to the studio, and they like spoiled us rotten. Anything we wanted, just so we could focus on the music.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
The life, right? And so let's just talk about your music, So, obviously you've done this app, I feel like alongside a music career, or has this replaced it?
This has replaced audio engineering, which I did for many years along with my music.
Okay. And so just talking about like, I guess like the business and music side of it. So it replaced your job. Does it allow you, like, is this your full-time income? I guess I'm asking, like, has this replaced the need for you to go to work elsewhere for someone else?
Fortunately, yes, it has. It has become full-time for me, and it's great because I can work from anywhere. So it's really kind of freed up my life in a way I'm so grateful for.
Yeah, that's fantastic, man. And it can be done. And I think the best way you can do it is by having an idea that's generated from a passion, and then that idea running parallel to that passion.
That's exactly how it happened. I love these apps, and I love creating more and adding more features.
Yeah. So your time now, I guess, is just spent brainstorming things that, can be added to this list.
Pretty much, and helping with marketing and getting the message out.
Yeah. And so that's a great point. Like, how have you found marketing, and what has been your most effective marketing?
I would say word of mouth and social media has been the best. And, with the app stores, keyword optimization.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, most of the people find our apps through the app store, but then also like social media, how we found each other.
Yeah. And so, and have you got like big names, names that people may know that use the app, or is that a bit more anonymous?
It's mostly anonymous. I know a couple people like Ryan from the Cribs. Do you know that band, the Cribs?
I don't.
They're a British band, kind of pop punk. They're from, I forget where they're from in England, but he uses MicSwap, and I forget his name, just like a super poppy, I don't remember his name, but
No worries.
Canadian super pop star uses it, but then they wouldn't let him tweet about it. But I found out through his hairdresser.
There you go. It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah, exactly. So I found out he was using the app, but his whole people wouldn't let him tweet about it because you have to pay for that.
Of course. And here's like, again, just like linking back to Boombox, is like all of these people who, are in the music industry I don't know the ins and outs. I have lots of friends in the music industry, lots of rappers and performers, some singers. And as I understand it, it's not particularly free thinking. If you are a creative, you're kind of locked in, like you say, behind PR and marketing agencies, obviously depending on your level. But I think, a combination of a platform like Boombox, technology like Web3, and apps like Future Moments really allow this new age of music ownership, right, going forward.
Yes, it's knocked down several walls, for better or for worse. Now anyone can use MicSwap MultiTrack, record your song, and immediately distribute it all in your phone.
Yeah.
So, that's amazing, but it also makes it harder for good music to cut through because there's just so much noise out there.
Yeah, this is so true. Like I often have this conversation about music, like, like we're bombarded by the radio, like by this, like you've got the news is a mainstream narrative. You have film is a mainstream narrative. You have music is a mainstream narrative. And your spectrum of what people listen to is so narrow.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. I feel like if it wasn't for apps like Spotify and YouTube that would kind of refer you off based on an algorithm to discover new music or pop up a random thing, like I now make a point on the YouTube app, music app, of listening to like the recommendations or like the top 10 they tell you, and most times they're rubbish, but every now and then there's a gem in there that I would never have heard.
Yep.
And so I do think, like for better or worse, but I do think like your app gives a voice and the power to put professional standard music in front of people that would never have heard it potentially,
Yeah. And the way you're discovering music on YouTube is kind of how when there were record stores, there'd be like CDs and then headphones.
Yes.
And you can kind of just go listen to the new releases.
Yeah. Back before the internet.
Yeah.
And phone boxes were around.
Yeah. But yeah, I do that on Spotify. I'll scroll through. It's like reels basically of a bunch of music they think you might like.
Which, and again, is a double-edged sword, isn't it? Because you can then just be bombarded by shit that you didn't want to hear. But like you say, there's those gems in there that I just feel like you would never find, like unless someone recommended you. So
yeah, and the fact that you can listen to literally a millisecond of a song and decide you don't like it,
I'm the
and
same.
immediately go to the next one is probably not great.
No, but do you? I'd probably give it more than a millisecond. But do you? If you don't like music, do you make a point of listening another 10 seconds to see if it changes?
It would have to be something in there that I liked.
Yeah, I'm the same. Yeah, like very quick, isn't it? Like, oh, that instrument, that melody, that something is making me want to know what happens next. And then it's like, definitely not.
Yeah, it's almost like there's so much noise that I consciously have to tell myself, is there something new in there for me?
Yes.
And then hopefully there is, but most of the time not. But it's great when there is. And then I think, well, actually, that didn't take long to discover new music. I would have had to have take the train or drive to a record store and put on the headphones and listen to all this stuff. So it's great that it's at our fingertips now.
Yeah, we're spoiled rotten with technology.
Oh yeah, we are. Yeah, I mean, releasing a record in this new digital age I haven't released a record in 10 years because I've been focusing on future moments and other things. But nowadays, people will be like, "Oh, I heard your song. It was really cool." I'm like, "Oh, cool. Where'd you hear it?" And I say, "Oh, I heard it on Instagram." And I'm thinking, that was 15 seconds of the song.
That's what they refer to, right?
Yeah.
As listening to the song, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? They're squashing the attention span.
There's a lot out there vying for your attention.
Yeah, 100%. And I just want to check in with you time-wise. Like, how long have you got?
Yeah, I should wrap it up in like 5 minutes.
Okay, all right. Well, look, let's start doing that. So, what is next for you? What are you working on? I know you said Mave is your newest offering. Do you have anything some sneaky little tidbits, a bit of alpha you can share with us?
Well, we have a big update for MicSwap coming out, which is a revamping of the whole app and a bunch of new features that should be out in about a month or two at the most. And we have so many things in the works. We have so many ideas on the table that my developer kind of does. He's usually working on a few projects at once, whatever he's in the mood for.
Nice.
Which is a great way to work. And it's actually also how I record songs. I'll have several songs going at once because sometimes you might be in the mood for a fast song. Sometimes you might be in the mood to work on a slow song. So I just give him ideas and then we'll, kind of like suss it out, our ideas verbally. And then we have the blueprint. And then when he's working on that, we'll go back and forth. Then if he's working on a different app idea, we'll go back and forth. So we've got a lot of things in the pots, but all basically for content creation.
I love it. Everything that you've shown me has blown me away, has instant applications to multiple things that I can think off the top of my head. It's current and it's effective. And most importantly, it's simple. So I think you've done a fantastic job. And I'm really excited to see where you go with it. I will be 100% using the app. I will be podcasting on the go, able to record with my massive, I don't know if you can see that mic.
Yeah.
And I am also very excited to see what kind of synergies we can bring together. I'd also like to invite you to something that's in the culmination with Boombox, which is going to be a monthly music dedicated podcast. And this is where we will bring on new and existing musicians and give them the opportunity to just talk, share, and also mint their first NFT music and own that and be able to walk away with an NFT album or single.
Love it. Yeah, you can see I'm in my studio now.
Oh, fantastic. Look at those speakers, man.
I can't quite turn it, but he has all the instruments, some of the instruments. Got some drums over there.
Oh, that looks like a creative, what would you call it? I'm lost for words, but yeah, it looks like a blank canvas for creating. That's what I was thinking.
Pretty much.
Room of inspiration. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a playground. It's funny. Like Abbey Road Studios is the most plain looking place. It's just blank walls.
Yeah.
The place that's not decorated. It's just very plain, which I think served the band pretty well.
Yeah, I can imagine. Like you've got no distraction, so it's all your creative and your creation, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. And so last thing I want to ask you is, if people watch this, they want to get in touch with you, or they want to download your app, or just generally follow your socials, where do you want them to go? Tell them what they need to know.
Well, we have apps for Apple and Android, so you could just go on either store and search for Future Moments, and all of our apps will come up, or our developer page will come up. You could email me directly, Gary@MicSwap.com. And you could find us. All of our apps kind of have their own social media presence, which has helped. Or you could just go to @High Future Moments on Twitter.
Outstanding. Gary, it's been an absolute pleasure. I know you're a busy man, and I really appreciate you taking the time. And
likewise, thanks so much for just getting it. Like you really do have a skill, a knack for that. You just got it right away.
Thank you so much.
You didn't make me work hard to explain it.
No,
you totally got it.
Yeah, and it was one of those things. As soon as I saw it, I was like, "Oh, this is what I've been looking for." And then, speaking with you, it's been really, really nice, man. Absolute pleasure. And hopefully, we'll do this again.
Absolutely, yeah. I'd love to meet your friends in Boombox.
Definitely, I'll organize that, and hopefully, I can get you on Uni-Fy, and we can get you set up there as well.
Awesome, sounds great, and good luck with the launch.
Thank you so much, and yeah, have an awesome rest of your day, and thank you for everyone who tuned in.